Hi everybody. Hi lady. Sorry, I just shut off my phone by mistake. I hope you can see me. If you hop on, please say hi so that I know that you're there. And if you're catching the replay, please also say hi because I like to know who's watching. So I hope that some of you can make it live. I was hoping to come on a little earlier today, but Monday morning life happens, so here I am. And how are you guys doing? I'm wondering if anyone else is feeling like this is the first day back to like normalcy after the craziness of the holidays. I know that I'm finding myself really craving a little bit more of getting back into a routine. How are you all feeling? Let me know how you're feeling today. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So today is day one of the self-care for stress relief training. And for those of you that don't know me, I'm Ambar and I am a self-care coach and stress relief specialist. And I've really made it my mission to teach women how to use simple self-care to heal anxiety and relieve stress in their lives. So that's what today's training is going to be all about. We're going to be talking about what self-care really is and how you can start using self-care to really decrease stress in your life. And I'm also going to be talking about why self-care is the best way to heal anxiety and to prevent yourself from feeling like your stress level is just getting out of control. And then after we talk about those two things, I'm going to give you some homework assignments because my intention is really for this training to be really helpful to you and to give you some action steps that you can start taking right away to just creating changes in your life and start taking better care of yourself and start decreasing your stress. So I'm going to give you some like fun homework assignments, easy homework assignments that you could start doing, today and tomorrow and this week to really just start adding self-care into your life. And then after the homework assignments, I'm going to talk a little bit about my 6-month coaching program that's starting next week for those of you that are interested in going into this topic a little bit deeper. And then finally, we're going to end with a group meditation, which I think is going to be really fun. So hopefully some of you can hop on and watch. And if not, I hope that you're watching the replay and just, let me know that you're there. So the first thing that I wanted to say is we're going to be talking about self-care. So I would love to know, when you think of the word self-care, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word self-care? So just type in the comments below. Again, if you're watching the replay, just type it in because I would love to hear your thoughts as well. What do you think of when you hear the word self-care? And I know that for a lot of us, when we first hear about self-care, the first thing we think about is maybe getting a massage or going to the spa or getting our nails done. And those things could definitely be a part of self-care. But when I'm talking about self-care for stress relief, that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about simple, everyday habits that you could start incorporating into your life to make you feel well taken care of every day. Just things that you could just incorporate into your daily routine to make you feel better, and just things that you could do every day consistently to start helping you feel like you're well taken care of, whether or not you have time to get to the spa. So I'm talking about things like creating a morning routine, taking time out to drink your tea or coffee in peace every day, taking quiet time for yourself every day, just moving your body, eating well, creating alone time, making your home feel like a nice space that makes you feel nurtured, and just like little habits that you could incorporate into your daily life that don't seem like a big deal, but when you add them all together, they really just start to create this beautiful, peaceful life. So that's the first part of self-care, is just like simple things that you do throughout the day to make you feel like you're living a good life. And then the second part of self-care is kind of going a little bit deeper and talking about what are the things that you need to change in your life to make you feel like you're well supported and well taken care of. So, are there big changes that you need to make? Do you need to take some things off of your to-do list? Do you need to ask for help in certain areas of your life? Do you need more support? Like, what kind of things do you need to start doing to really create the life that you want to be living? And these two things, just like the simple daily self-care and then the deeper, more big picture kind of things, are what really adds up to creating a life where you feel well taken care of. So let me tell you how this works in my life, how I came to, this whole idea. So for me, it all started, I was someone who really struggled with anxiety and depression for most of my life. And back in, I'm not going to tell you my whole life story right now, but I'm going to go back how like self-care started surfacing in my life and how I started implementing it. So I'm going to go back to, it was 2012, and I had at this point really just gotten a grip of my anxiety and learned all of these ways to relieve stress, and I had really just like made it my mission to heal anxiety, and just like I had been doing all these holistic things, just like watching like the way that I was eating and just really taking part in yoga and learning to meditate and really developing like a bigger like connection to spirituality. And I was doing all these things that were making me feel really just more supported in my life. And at this time, I had just gotten engaged, and my husband and I had just bought a house and moved down to the beach, which is where I always wanted to live. And I was just feeling like really grateful to finally live by the beach. I was happy that I had, like this wonderful relationship, and we were starting our life together, and we got married, and then we just created like this really happy and peaceful life. It was just the two of us, and I had just created this life where I had plenty of alone time, which is something that's always been really important to me. My husband and I went on regular date nights several times a week. I went for walks on the beach every single day. I was getting my nails done every 2 weeks. I had a monthly massage package. My hair was always done. I just, I was really taking like really, really good care of myself. And I kind of was thinking of myself as like the queen of self-care at this time. And it was working for me. I was feeling good. And, like this was my life for several years. And I just felt like really fortunate and really lucky that I had finally like healed my anxiety and figured out the key to just feeling peaceful and having a happy life. And then what happened was I got pregnant and I had my daughter. And when I became a new mom, everything that I had been doing for self-care just like completely flew out the window. I know that for those of you who are moms, I'm sure that you could probably understand. I was completely just taken aback by how much a newborn baby required of me. Like I was no longer, I had no alone time anymore. I had like this, helpless little baby, and I loved my daughter, of course, but I just, I didn't feel like me. I didn't feel like I was taking care of myself. And I'll never forget like the moment when I realized that that something really had to change. I was sitting on my couch with, like nursing my baby, which I was doing a lot back then. And I was on the phone with my friend, and I was just telling her how just like how overwhelming like new motherhood was, and how tired I was, and how like this baby was so attached to me, and I felt like I could never put her down. And I just was like, I guess just really just venting to her about just how hard I was finding life at the time. And then at that time, my husband came into the room and he goes to me, "Be more positive." And now for those of you that know me and Angelo, that's my husband, you know that like for him to tell me to be more positive, like that was like a total slap in the face to me, because the dynamic in our relationship is that I am the positive one and he's kind of like a negative Nelly, and I'm the one that's all like, oh, like love and light, life is great, let's focus on the positive. Like I'm the one who's always being positive and cheering him on and just like cheering us on as a couple. So for him to come to me and tell me to be more positive, I was just like, wow, like I'm being really negative right now. What's going on? Like clearly I'm not feeling good, that all I'm doing is just, talking about how hard life is right now. So I started really taking a look at my life, and I knew that, life as it had existed before then just, was no longer. Things were totally different, and I had to learn how to make the best of it. So I started looking at how I could start to incorporate self-care into my life now. So I knew that the things that I had been doing for self-care before, like having hours of leisure time to myself and getting my nails done and getting massages, like didn't weren't really conducive to my life at that time anymore. Because when I had an hour to myself, like the last thing I wanted to do was to go get a massage. I wanted to take a nap, right? And, I had no time alone to myself, but I started to look at what can I do with my life the way that it is now so that I still feel well taken care of and supported. So the first thing that I did was I started creating a morning ritual. And for me, what that looked like was I started doing yoga every morning. Yoga was something that had always really felt really good to me and helped me really just come back into my like all parts of me, my body, my mind, my spirit. It always like helped lift me up. So that's the first thing that I started doing, is just doing yoga every day. And what it looked like back then was I would just wake up every morning and I would put my daughter down on her little play mat and I would do yoga next to her. And then at the end, we would do a little baby yoga together. So that's how it started. And I did that every single day to just feel like I was doing something for myself. And then as my daughter grew, it started looking at like her wanting to do yoga with me and just like climbing all over me as I was doing yoga. And now that she's, older now and has finally like a good sleep pattern, now it's evolved to me waking up every morning before my daughter wakes up, so that I can have time to myself every morning. I wake up, I roll out my yoga mat, I do maybe like 20 minutes of yoga every morning, and then I make a cup of tea and I sit and I drink my tea in peace before she wakes up. And just taking this little bit of time to myself every morning has really made just like a major difference in my life, and it sets me up so that just because I'm starting my day from that calm and centered place, I'm then more capable of like managing whatever the rest of the day throws at me. So that was the first thing I did, was just creating like this morning routine that felt really just like nice and nourishing and nurturing to me. So then I started to look at like what other things could I do. So I had always loved going for walks at the beach, and I knew, I couldn't get away for walks on the beach every single day by myself anymore, but I could take my baby for walks on the beach. So I started putting June in her stroller and we would go for like multiple beach walks every single day. And just getting that fresh air started to help me feel better too. So I started doing that, and then I started looking at like what are the things that I could start to do in the moments where like my daughter is having a meltdown or I'm having a meltdown and I just need to like regroup. So I started just thinking of like simple things I could do, like maybe go in the other room and take a few deep breaths, or I could do a guided meditation, or I could go outside and just get some fresh air, or I could ask my husband to watch the baby for an hour every night so that I could take a hot shower and have some time to myself. So I started just looking at like what are the little things that I could do, like how could I implement self-care into this stage of my life. And I started to do that, and I've continued to do that. Like my daughter's 2.5 years old now, so I have a little bit more freedom, and it's continued to change and evolve as she's grown and as my life stage changes. But the important thing is that like I reassess like where I'm at in my life, what's working, what's not working, and where is there room for me to be taking better care of myself. And then I also started looking at like what were the bigger picture things that I needed to start doing. So like we don't really have a lot of family that lives nearby, and it was really just the two of us with June all the time. So the one thing that we really needed was some kind of childcare. So we're like very lucky that we found a babysitter who we just love, and she's become part of our family now. So that was like one thing that changed, is we got a little bit of help with childcare. And then eventually I made even bigger changes. I ended up leaving my job last year because I realized I had really loved my job, but it wasn't where I wanted to be anymore. I felt like I was missing out on a lot of time being home with my daughter. I wanted to focus more on my life coaching and meditation classes and the kind of thing that I'm doing now, and I just didn't have time for all of it. So I ended up leaving my job, and like that was a big transition all on its own, but it was a change that I had to make in order to take good care of myself and just like live the life that I want to be living. So that's what I want to like leave you with, is how can you look at your life and your life stage and see where can you start taking better care of yourself? Where are these simple like moments of self-care that you could start to include in your life? And then start looking at the bigger picture and see, well, what changes do you need to make? Where do you need help? Where do you need support? What changes do you need to make? Maybe you don't need to quit your job like I did, but maybe there's other things that you need to change. So that's what like I want you to start looking at. And then this brings us to why self-care is so important. So the reason why self-care is so important is because when you are consistently taking care of yourself in these ways that seem so simple and trivial, right? Because the things that I mentioned are not rocket science, right? Like taking time for yourself every morning and getting a babysitter and taking a hot shower every day and getting fresh air and moving your body and eating well, like anyone could do those things, right? But just because they're simple, like don't overlook them, because it's just like the routine of doing these things that are simple but that make a big difference over time. And I promise you that if you start to take these simple changes and start like adding them in little by little into your life and doing them consistently every day, like your whole life is going to transform and you're going to feel completely different. So what happens is that when we're taking care of ourselves in this way, so let's say that there's a scale of 1 to 10, and that's like our stress and anxiety scale, right? So level 1 is like you're running a little late for work, so you're stressed out. And then level 10 is like I'm having a panic attack. So when you're taking consistent daily good care of yourself, what happens is it lowers your baseline stress level. So for me, on maybe any given day, I'll wake up and my stress level will be at maybe like a 2 or a 3, given, you know, depending on what's going on that day. So I'll wake up and I'll be a 2 or a 3. And what happens is, like, we all know, like, life is not smooth sailing all the time, right? So I like to think like life is cyclical, like it's a big circle. So sometimes we're up, and that's when like things are going great in our life. Things are flowing smoothly, we're in a good place, nothing chaotic is happening, we're just like cruising, right? And we're feeling good. So that's like the upward circle. But then, like, you know, like we never know when something's going to happen in life that's going to throw us for a loop and is going to challenge us and is going to be difficult to deal with. So that's when like we start to like fall off and like go down, and that's when like anxiety and depression start to kick in, because life gets hard and it gets challenging, and then we're down here. And then when we're down here, the thing is, like, we know that life is cyclical and we will be back up again, but when we're down here, we still have to be able to cope and deal with life when things get hard. So back to the anxiety and stress scale, if my regular baseline of stress is a 2 or 3, then when something hard happens in life, my anxiety level is going to spike up a little bit. So maybe it'll go up to maybe like a 5 or a 6 when something challenging happens. But the thing is, a stress level of a 5 or a 6 is still like a medium level stress that I could still manage. But what happens is, if I'm not taking care of myself and I'm living my life from a place from where even when things are like smooth sailing, I'm still operating from crisis management, and my baseline stress level is, say, like a 7 or an 8 or a 9 on a regular day, then what's going to happen when something hard happens in life and something challenging happens? Then like my anxiety is going to go through the roof, and now we're like off the scale, we're past 10, and that's when you start to feel like, oh my god, like I can't deal with my life, like this is too hard, my anxiety is like completely unmanageable, right? So that's why you need to be taking care of yourself every day when things are good, so that when things get hard, you can still manage it. So let me tell you, like, I'll give you an example from my life. So I don't want you to think that because I'm here talking about this, my life is all like rainbows and butterflies, because it's not. You know, I still have like difficult things that come up. I still get anxious sometimes. It's just that I know how to take care of myself so that I can manage it. So I know a lot of you know that if you've been in the group for a while, you know that I've been dealing with a situation where my grandma, who I'm really close with, has been hospitalized since November. And I am in this like tricky place where my sister and I are kind of like the primary kind of caregivers for my grandma. And she lives like an hour north from me, so I'm driving up and back and forth from the hospital several times a week, every week, and I'm the one that's getting phone calls whenever, like, from doctors and nurses, and just like having to make medical decisions and just like do all these things like to try to help out my grandmother. And honestly, it's stressful. It's not an easy situation. It's a hard thing to be dealing with. And if I was not taking care of myself while all of this was going on, it would be really easy to get to a place where like, oh my God, like I can't deal with this right now. I have my own responsibilities. I have a 2-year-old that I need to be taking care of. I can't be driving there every day. I can't deal with this. Like this is too much, right? It would be very easy for me to just go down that train of thought and start thinking like I can't handle this. But since I know that my life right now is a little bit more challenging than other times, you better believe that I'm taking extra good care of myself every day. I am waking up every single morning and making sure that I do yoga before I go to the hospital or before whatever else I'm doing that day. I'm making sure that I'm eating well so that like I don't start to feel like crap. I'm using my essential oils. I am doing breathing exercises and mindfulness exercises while I'm driving to the hospital. I am just like using all of the tools that I have to keep me feeling sane and calm. And because of that, because I'm taking care of myself, I'm capable of handling this kind of hard situation that I'm with. And I'm also not letting it completely take over my life because I'm making sure that I get time for me every day. I'm taking time to play with my daughter every day. I'm making sure that I'm spending quality time with my husband at night when I get home. So I'm not letting myself be all consumed by this one difficult thing in my life. And that's because I'm taking good care of myself. Do you see how that works? Like, please comment below and let me know if this is making sense to you. That, you know, we need to be setting ourselves up with a consistent daily self-care practice when things are good, so that when things get hard, we are still able, to manage our lives and still, I am going through this hard situation, but most of the time I still feel pretty good. And that's not to say that I don't get sad or, anxious when certain things come up with my grandma, because of course I do, I'm human, but I'm able to still function and feel like I can handle this. And that's completely because of my self-care practice. So that is, I know I'm talking a lot, but that is what I want to leave you with. Is I want you to start creating your own daily self-care practice to help you start creating like that lower baseline stress level. So I'm going to give you your homework assignments right now. So your first homework assignment for today, Monday, day 1, is going to be to create your own morning ritual. And I want it to be super simple. Just create a simple morning ritual. You could call it a morning routine. Just something that you're going to wake up and do every single morning to really just take care of you. And it doesn't have to be like you have to wake up, an hour early. It could be you wake up 15 minutes earlier and you go in your kitchen, you light a candle, and you drink a cup of coffee in peace. That could be all it takes. That could be your new morning ritual. Some other suggestions are maybe you want to do yoga every morning like I do, or maybe you want to do some other kind of exercise. Maybe you want to, the second you wake up, tell yourself 3 things that you're grateful for before you even get out of bed in the morning. Maybe you want to keep a journal next to on your nightstand and just do a little journaling every morning. Maybe you want to take a nice hot shower every morning and use like your favorite shower gel, right? Just like pick something simple, like tune into yourself and ask yourself, what's going to make me feel really good every day if I wake up this way, and do that. So if something is popping out to you right now as you hear me talk, I would love to type in the comments below what your morning ritual is going to be. And if you need some time to think about it, that's cool. Just come back and let me know, because I want to be able to support you and help hold you accountable in really taking action and start to do this morning ritual, because this is going to create the foundation for just you taking better care of yourself. So that's your first homework assignment, is to create your morning ritual. And then day 2 is going to be we're going to start watching how we talk to ourselves. So remember the story I told you when I was kind of just like telling the story about how new motherhood was so hard and my husband came and told me to be more positive. How are you talking to yourself? Like, take a look at the stories you tell yourself. Are you telling yourself like, oh my God, my life is so hard. I am so anxious. I'm miserable. I'm unhappy. I can't deal with life. I have no time for myself. Are these the things that you're saying? Because what happens is the stories that we tell ourselves become our reality. So the words I am are like the two most powerful words in our language, because when you say I am, you are defining yourself. You're saying this is who I am, and you're not leaving space for you to be anything other than that. So if you're saying I'm anxious, you're going to get more anxiety. If you're saying I have no time for myself, guess what? You're not going to have any time for yourself. And if you're saying I'm unhappy, I'm miserable, like that's what's going to be reflected back to you. So start to really just look at the ways that you're talking to yourself about yourself and start to shift it. So maybe you could start saying like, and I'm not saying to go from, if the story you're telling yourself is I'm so anxious every day, it might feel very unnatural to start saying like, I am super calm and serene, right? So don't do like a drastic jump like that if that feels phony to you. Instead maybe you could go from I'm so anxious to I'm taking steps to heal my anxiety. I'm doing what I need to do to feel better every day. I feel calmer and calmer each and every day, right? Doesn't that feel better? And then like if you're telling yourself you have no time for yourself, tell yourself I am making time for myself. I make myself a priority. And life is hard right now, but I'm capable of managing it. Or I am strong and I am capable. And I am worthy of taking time for myself. Like just start changing your inner dialogue and your life will start to change. So that's your second homework assignment, is just to start paying attention to what are the things that you're saying to yourself and just start to shift it into something a little bit more positive. And if you do this consistently over time, like you're going to start to feel like a completely different person. And then the last homework assignment, you get 3 homework assignments today. I know it's kind of a lot, but they're all relatively simple. The last one is going to be a meditation that we're going to do together at the end. So before we get there, I wanted to tell you, if you are listening to me talk and this is resonating with you and you're starting to think like, okay, I see the importance of self-care and I see why I need to be taking better care of myself so that I could relieve stress, but like I don't know where the heck to start, then I want to invite each and every one of you watching to consider signing up for my 6-month coaching program called Self-Care Queen that's starting next Monday. And what this program is it's going to be all about exactly what we're talking about today. I'm going to be teaching you all of my best tips and tricks to start incorporating daily, regular, consistent self-care into your life. And there's 3 parts to the program. So the first part is monthly meditation classes, and that's when we're going to get together as a group, and I'm going to be teaching you tons of guided meditations and mindfulness exercises that you can start doing, and you're going to get recordings of them so you could start incorporating them into your daily life. And what's going to happen is by the end of our 6 months together, you are going to be a meditation master, because you're going to have all of these meditations now as part of your routine, as part of your toolkit that you can use whenever you need them. And then the second part of the program is our group coaching calls. And I think that this is like the key, most important part of the program. And our group coaching calls is going to be like, we all get together as a group on a video chat, and it's going to be your chance to just share with the group and talk and bounce ideas off each other and just share about whatever's coming up for you. And the reason why this is so important is because I know that for those of us who struggle with managing stress and anxiety, it's very easy to start to feel like we feel like that anxiety in our chest, or that feeling in the pit of our stomach, and we start to feel like, oh my God, I'm anxious again. Why can't I just be normal? Nobody understands how I feel. Why do I have to feel this way? Nobody else gets it. Why can't I just be like everybody else, right? And what we start to do is we want to isolate ourselves and hide because we don't want anyone to know that this is how we're feeling. Or we can put on like a fake happy face and try to act like everything is, cool and fine and we're totally happy even when we're not. So when we're doing this, like, you're never going to feel better when you're doing this. And what's going to happen is, by being a part of this group of other women who have similar challenges, who also struggle with stress and anxiety, you're going to start to see that, like, I'm totally normal. Everybody feels this way. It's normal to have some level of anxiety. These women really get me. I'm not crazy. And like, then you're going to start to see like, oh, like this really worked for her. Maybe I should try that. Or I'm feeling really good this week. This is what I've been doing different. Let me share it with the group. so that, maybe this could help somebody. And being in this supportive community where no one's judging you and everybody understands and everybody gets where you're coming from is just really going to empower you to start taking control of your life. So that's why the group coaching is so important. And then the last part of the program is one-on-one coaching with me. So we're going to have a call every month where that's like your private time with me to just go deeper into whatever is coming up for you. And we are going to, at the beginning of the program, on our first call, we're going to just talk about, what your goals are, what you want your life to be like 6 months from now, what it is that you're working on. And I'm going to help you formulate an action plan of like small, doable, that's what I'm all about, is like simple, doable steps to get you to where you want to be. And then in 6 months from now, you're going to look back and your life is going to look completely different, and you're going to feel totally different, and you're going to have this group of women who now like are your best friends and completely get you and like know more about your life than sometimes like, your friends that you've been friends with forever. And it's just going to be really nice to be in this supportive community of women who are all building each other up and are all working on improving their lives and creating more positive, peaceful lives. And just to have the support is it's just going to be awesome. So I'm really excited about this group program. And if you're wanting to learn more about the things that we're talking about, today and the rest of the week, so that you can check out the full-length program. So that's all. I hope that this has been helpful to you. I hope that you are starting to see, like self-care really matters, and you need to start taking time for yourself, and you deserve to feel good, and you deserve to create a peaceful and happy life, and that no one's going to come in and give that to you. You need to start creating it for yourself, because that's the only way that anything's ever going to change. So the last thing that I wanted to do is I want to meditate. Just because for me, meditation has been just one of the best ways to really get some of that like crazy chatter that goes on in our heads to just quiet down, and just to be able to just like be with ourselves for a moment and just like relax. And when we focus on the present moment, we realize that like everything is fine right now. It's only when we start to like worry about the future or like think about the past that we start to really just start to feel a little like out of control. But as long as we're focusing on right now, we notice that everything, all is well. So that's what meditation does, is it forces you to get into the present moment. And if you've never meditated before, it might sound like it's hard, but my intention is to show you that meditation is not like this crazy, like out there thing. It's not just for like Buddhist monks. You don't have to spend hours on a meditation cushion. It's something that you could just very easily incorporate into your daily life. So one way that I think is really like easy way to start meditating is just pick a song that you really like and just go somewhere where you could be quiet, close your eyes, and put on your favorite song, and then just like pay attention to your breath as you listen to the song. So that's what we're going to do right now, is we're going to meditate to a song that I have picked out for us. So if you are watching, just take a moment to just sit down and get comfy and cozy, and just close your eyes and roll your shoulders up and back. Try to create a straight line on your spine. Close your eyes and just start to take some deep breaths in through your nose and out of your mouth. Let's take 2 more deep breaths together. Breathing in through your nose, out of your mouth, and 1 more. In through your nose, out of your mouth. And now just go back to your regular, normal breathing. And just focus on your breath as you listen to this song. Breathing in and out through your nose. Breathe it all in. Deep breath into your nose. And let go of any stress. Breathing in, I am light. Breathing out any stress and anxiety. Breathing in, I am light. Breathing out anything that's stressing you out.
I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any other things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. I am light.
And place one hand over your heart and the other hand over that hand. And keep breathing. And just know that you are light. You are worthy. You are love and you are loved. You deserve to live a peaceful, happy life. And know that healing is on the way for you and that it's already happening right now in this moment. Take another deep breath in through your nose and let it out with a sigh. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And that's as simple as meditation can be. I hope that you're feeling a little more peaceful after listening to me rant and talk for a while and doing that short meditation at the end. Again, let me leave you with your 3 homework assignments. The first one is to start creating your own morning ritual and morning routine. And please, please, please share in the comments in this video what you're going to be doing as your morning routine so that we can support and encourage one another. And then the second assignment is to start looking at the way that you're talking to yourself. Notice when you say, I am what? How are you describing yourself? And if you catch yourself saying negative things to yourself, just try to spin it into something a little bit more positive. And then the last assignment that you could start doing, the last tip and trick that I have for you, is just doing this short meditation to a song. Choose a song that you like. If you like the song that I played, it's called I Am Light by India Arie. Isn't that a beautiful song? And just start listening to a song each day and just sitting in quiet stillness, focusing on your breath as you breathe in and out. And that's it. If you do these 3 things, I know that you will start to feel better. I know that your stress levels are going to decrease. And I know that you're going to start feeling like you're so much more supported and well taken care of. And it all starts with you, and it all starts with taking time to make these small changes in your life. So start doing it today. Create your morning routine. Watch how you talk to yourself. Do a short meditation to a song. And then come back and let me know how you're feeling. And again, if you're feeling like you want to go deeper into this kind of thing, I'm going to post a link to my 6-month coaching program that's starting on Monday. If you're feeling called to sign up for the program, if you have questions about it, reach out to me. I am a very easy person to talk to. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. I'm not here to try to convince you that this is right for you if it's not, but if you're wondering, if you want to tell me like what your specific situation is, what you're looking to work on in the next 6 months in your life, and you want to know if this is the right fit for you, like I'm happy to hop on the phone with you or just talk on Facebook Messenger or email and just like answer any questions for you. So please reach out. Don't be afraid to reach out. I'm happy to talk to you. And I'm happy that you are here and tuning into this training. And I really hope that you found it helpful. Okay, so go ahead and start taking good care of yourself. And if I saw someone just hopped on now, so go back and watch the replay. I'm just wrapping up now, and I left you girls with some 3 action steps that you could start taking right now to start taking good care of yourself. So go back and watch. Okay, thanks ladies. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.